The great thing about radio that's much better than television is that television spends so much of its time being occupied with the visual aspect, and a lot of the time in terms of the actual content that's being given to your audience, that doesn't matter. The great thing about radio is you don't need to worry how it looks. You can have pieces of paper all over the place. It's all about the content. The centerpiece of our news output is a big show called The Scoop on Sunday. So we do that every Sunday evening. It's 2 hours and it's live radio, and we do that live from the Queen's Students' Union. We normally pre-record 3 or 4 conversations, chats with people from about 3 to 5, somewhere like that. That's normally either when people can't come on the show in the evening or when they're maybe a little bit further away.
Before COVID, we had a lot of live broadcasts, just set up in the studio pretty much where I am now, broadcasting out with very little interference from tech teams or members of the society or anyone in committee. But now, because of COVID, everything has to run through a tech person of some description, be that so that we can pre-record it and schedule it out so that not everyone can be in the studio, and we can stick to the regulations of only one person in the studio at a time.
So how we do it is that we've kind of constructed the studio so that it's all on essentially a trolley, so that everything that can be is all velcro down and pre-wired, and then every week we come in, we unplug it all, we roll it all the way across the hall, and then we rebuild it.
The problem, I suppose, with being in the middle of the pandemic is that every news story that you cover will have a link back to the pandemic. So if we talk about something like entertainment, or we talk about some celebrity gossip, there's a wedding, that's going to be affected by a pandemic in the same way that a furlough scheme is going to be affected by the pandemic. So there isn't the same fear that you need to make sure that the audience doesn't get bored of talking about COVID, because COVID touches everything in a way that other news stories don't. But it's definitely the case that it can grind on you a bit if it's constantly COVID, pandemic, lockdown. You need to find the lighter moments, and that's what I try to do anyway. That's my philosophy.
The main thing I've learned as station manager so far is to think on your feet. Probably think this is one of the hardest things I've had to do, but you got to just take everything as, if you produce anything, it's impressive, because you could so easily just go, no, let's just stop and wait for this all to pass. I am insanely proud of everything the station's done so far, and I cannot take any credit for any of it because it wouldn't be possible without the other people.